The image for a touring musician is usually you kind of conjure up like Motley Crue or something. And I was really disappointed when TopHouse didn't pan out that way.
Welcome back to the TopHouse podcast. We are the band TopHouse, and we are in this podcast, and that's pretty great.
Yeah.
So today's episode is about touring, and
Alan Turing, the man who invented modern day computing?
No, I don't mean touring. I don't mean Turin Bard, the son of Hurin,
Oh, do you mean the Honda Accord Touring? Like the fully loaded?
No.
Perhaps you mean the Turing test, the way to tell if a computer is able to act like a human or not.
No.
I think.
I don't mean any of those things.
Any of us would pass that
when I
test.
say touring today, I mean going on tour as a band to different cities and playing in those cities.
Wow.
And here's some fun things. Okay. We've played, by the end of this year, we will have played, I think, a little over 100 shows in 2025. We've played in like 60 states or something like that, something insane. Actually, I don't know how many states we've played in, but I think total we have like 3 states to go before we've played in all the states. So that's cool.
So like states are like gaseous, liquid, solid. And there's like
no, I'm actually talking
There's
about
57 other ones.
I'm actually talking about states within the United States of America, like
provinces. You'd be familiar with provinces.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Or polities.
They're like boundaries that hold them in.
We should save that for the geography episode.
We'll have a geography. We'll talk about geography.
Something we're really
at some
passionate
point.
about.
Yeah. Anyways, so today we're going to talk about touring because it's something that is a pretty major part of our lives and gets many questions asked to us by people who are, I feel like, from people who are like close friends of ours in Nashville or just like within our community, but also people on the road. Like it seems like everyone's really curious about touring. And so we're going to talk about it. So first question, let's jump right in.
Oh,
what are some of the biggest myths about going on tour?
that it's super sexy. It's like, you drive to a place, usually at the level we're at, we get there like 3 p.m. or so, 4 p.m., do a sound check. Then you just kind of sit around for like 4 hours, maybe go get some food. Maybe you can walk around that part of this, whatever city you're in. And then you play your show, chat with the fans if we have time, and then pack up. And then we just drive to the next place. And it's literally that over and over again. It's not a vacation.
Dive into the myth though. What's the myth?
The myth of it being sexy. The myth of like
explain like what you mean by like what's like, if you had no idea what touring was like, what would you maybe like picture in your mind? Or like, I don't know, like, what did we think touring was going to be like?
I feel like the image for a touring musician is usually, maybe this is just me, but you kind of conjure up like Motley Crue or something where everybody's just on the road, just like snorting drugs and womanizing and just getting drunk. And I was really disappointed when TopHouse didn't pan out that way.
We're disappointing our parents.
Sorry, Mom and Dad.
Sorry, I haven't done much cocaine.
No, but I feel like that's the image that gets conjured up when you think of touring. And if not those things, it might be like fancy hotels and or private jets, catered meals. And maybe that happens for like the top, 0.1% of touring musicians, but the catered meals for us are those free breakfasts at the Hampton Inn,
I think it'd be really interesting to like, because like at the level we're at, which is, like we're full-time music, but we're not at like a level where we have, like tour buses and private jets or anything. It'd be really interesting to talk to someone at that level and see what like myths like we have about them.
Oh yeah.
Where we're like, oh, it's probably so easy for so-and-so. And I wonder if they would be like, yeah, it is. Like, You know, because I remember talking. Remember that we were talking with a guy who talked to Zach Brown, and they were like, "Oh yeah, he just flies in like an hour before he has to be on set. He has his private jet like drop him off." And I don't know if that's like true or not, but
you think we can get Zach Brown?
Interesting,
like for free.
We should see if we can get Zach on the.
Do we have any connections?
Nate, can we get Zach on the podcast?
Do you know cool. Zach Brown? He has a wine. Z. Alexander Brown.
We have we could make wine.
We could go into competitions, wine competitions.
Like against each other or real ones?
I don't know, just against Zach Brown's wine.
Oh, we're trying to get him on the pod. Oh, you're saying, is that how we would get him on the podcast?
Exactly,
by defeating his wine in one-on-one combat?
Exactly. I think that's how it works.
No. That'd be sweet.
That'd be awesome. Okay.
I just want any nuts.
I'll take a nut.
I'm okay. I have
Thank
coffee.
you.
Oh, good throw.
I feel like kind of building off of that, one thing that is weird about touring is just how it is very volatile, especially like right now we have a schedule. We play, like Jesse said, we show up somewhere at 3. We usually leave there around like 1 a.m., repeat it the next day. Some days are easy. It's just a 2-hour drive to the next place. Other days, like it can be like as much as a 7 or 8 hour drive. And so like very, very circular, not much time to go out and see stuff usually, which is sad. And that's definitely kind of that myth busted. On the other hand, there are exceptions. Sometimes, there's a 3-day gap because we didn't have anywhere to play Monday and Tuesday, and then we get to go to a national park.
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff is always like fun. So it's not all mundane, like show up, stand around. Meeting people's cool, but
I feel like you get good at falling asleep on random surfaces, just kind of wherever you can sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
like under tables a lot.
Yeah.
Just like add some darkness.
Under tables a lot.
Yeah.
This actually kind of, okay. We've already started answering this question, but I'm just going to ask it anyways and just phrase it just so that, we can segment these things in an ordered manner.
Seamless manner.
So that's what we're all about.
Seamlessly.
Is being organized and stuff. Okay. So the question is, can you walk us through the process of what it takes to actually go on tour, from planning dates to what your days look like? So kind of talked a little bit about what days look like. We should dive more into that, I think. But what does it look like to plan dates? And I mean tours, like,
yeah,
we
don't date each other anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there are like 2 questions here. And one is like, what does it look like right now? And the other is like, what did it used to look like?
Right.
Because like, while we look at like, the Zach Browns and their tour buses, like a lot of people, there are a lot of other musicians looking at us and being like, I wish I had a Sprinter van and a booking agent. So it could be fun to tell the story of
totally.
Like, yeah, the first tour, quote unquote tour that we did was just us driving back to Montana. Right.
Yeah.
Like after we moved, it was like, I think it was 2020.
We were packed into my wife's Ford Edge.
There's 3 of us, all of our gear, all our luggage, all our merch, and one semi-disabled hedgehog.
Mm-hmm.
William decided to bring it was like what's the term? Is it biplegic? His back legs didn't work.
Yeah, no, he had wobbly hedgehog syndrome,
which is a real
syndrome. I can't believe.
Yeah, no, that was a great.
I feel like I want to name stuff.
I feel like those are like every band goes through those days of like being crammed into a tiny car, and it's like the worst but best thing ever. But like planning it was all like, I used to do all the booking. And so it'd be like, so I'm trying to remember, because we went from Nashville to Montana.
Well, didn't we knew a rough route because we had like basically your family that we could stay with at least a part of the way, and then our own family back in Montana.
Well, it was like, like anchor dates. I feel like that's like a big thing in touring is anchor dates. That's like and that still is like for us now, even like a festival might be an anchor date, but like back then it was like, okay, maybe we're playing a wedding that's going to pay us enough to cover the cost of
like getting out
like,
there, maybe,
you know, a couple hotels or something. And then we can, you know, play at a couple bars that won't pay us anything around that, you know? And so it's like, I remember we had some anchor dates, like, cause we had folks back in Montana who we knew and who were like fans of us from then, who we could play like private events for. And then we had
and breweries and stuff. We played a brewery to like 4 people in Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah, that was epic.
Was that the first year?
Yeah,
no.
First and last time we were playing in Fargo at this point.
Yeah.
Up till now, maybe.
But it allowed us to cross North Dakota off the states that we've played a show in.
But we like, like I guess like the process was like, you know, we'd plan our route around these sort of anchor dates, and then we'd just look at a map and be like, well, here's a city we're passing through. Like we're going through, you know, Chicago or Louisville or whatever. And so then I would just research like anywhere that has live music and just send like a billion emails.
Well, it's not quite anywhere, because you have to like, at that point, we didn't even have ticket sales. We were just looking for a gig to play. So
like a coffee shop that would let us set up and play. We brought our own sound system. Like we had our own PA,
which was also fit into the Ford Edge
somehow.
But yeah, you're trying to look at venues that are small enough to make sense for you to play there, but big enough to where you're not, you know, like in the back room of a coffee shop that no one else is in, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we did like a bar. We did O'Shea's in Louisville.
O'Shea's, and we used to play O'Shea's in Louisville a decent amount, which was a good time. But yeah, and that was kind of like the, I guess, the really rough sketch of what a tour might have looked like for us, like before, I guess, being able to sell tickets. And then I still remember the first time we had some videos kind of pop off, and we had like people who wanted to buy tickets in cities that were not like, you know, Montana or Tennessee. I remember still Palmer's Bar in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
We showed up and it was like,
first of all, we turned onto the street and there was a guy holding a bicycle. Have I told this story yet?
I don't know.
There's a guy holding a bicycle trying to fight another guy. And we don't know if he was using it as like a weapon or if he was defending the bicycle from being stolen. But we had no idea. And it ended up being like a Somali neighborhood? And so we went across the street and like found some camel milk. We thought about drinking the camel milk, but we got euros instead. Yeah. It's probably a safe call.
I remember like we set up for that show and then we left, didn't buy camel milk. And then we came back for the show and the bar was like full of people. And we were like,
what are these people?
I guess this spot must be popular. Like it's cool that people are here. I hope they like the music. And then like people would come up and be like, we can't wait to see you guys. And we're like, wait, you know who we are? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a Monday or Tuesday.
It was super weird.
And there were some 40 people at this bar.
Yeah.
And I remember we were looking around, we're like, guys, people came here to see us.
It was bizarre.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
Dude, and there was, oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. This feels like a perfect time. I feel like Andy needs to tell this story. And, So I guess first of all, I should address the fact that Andy's not here. We probably should have done that at the beginning, but Andy has some pretty cool back issues going on right now. And by cool, I mean not cool at all. And so he was not able to make it today because he's been dealing with a lot of that stuff. And so he's probably just lying in bed in pain. But
here in America,
he said that we could call him.
You can still work when you're lying in bed in pain.
Right. He said we could call him for a segment of the show. And I feel like this is that segment of the show. So remember, the setup is Palmer's Bar.
Mm-hmm.
We play a show.
Palmer's Bar 2021, I think.
All right. Andy is ringing. I hope everyone can hear this.
Why, hello.
Why, hello, Andy.
From TopHouse.
It is I, Andy. Can you hear me?
I sure hope so. I'm holding you up via speakerphone to a microphone.
Oh, wow.
Dude, Okay.
Question.
We're talking about some touring stuff,
Yeah.
and we thought this would be a great opportunity for you to tell the story of what happened at Palmer's Bar.
Oh my gosh. By the way, Rip Palmer's is closing, which is really sad.
It is sad.
The
But
only
yeah,
place to ever
Palmer's
fulfill our
Bar
rider.
in Minneapolis. Okay, here we go. Here's the story. So it was a few years ago. It was our first real show in Minneapolis. We play at Palmer's, which is an awesome bar. There's maybe 40 people there or so. And it was great. It was just one of the top 10 shows that I've ever played. I feel like I don't know why, but it just was.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this kind of older gentleman sitting right near the stage, and I kind of was watching him as we were playing, and he didn't really react. And I don't know, just didn't really think much of it. After the show, I stepped out onto the bar patio to have a cigarette. And, it's dark. It's probably like close to 11 o'clock at night. And I hear a voice, and the voice goes, "Andy." Just like that. And I was, I felt like a sense of cold wash over me, and I was like, what's going on? And I hear it again. It goes, "Andy." And I look, and it's that old man, and he's just in the literally lurking in the shadows, just like out of a movie, like a hunched creature. And so I walk up to him, and he's like, "Your performance was sublime. It was the perfect blend of milk, oil, blood, and the witches drank the brew. And then you ruined it all with that Irish." And I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and backed away. But that was the nicest criticism anyone's ever given me to this day.
Wow.
I feel like didn't we all have our own individual interaction with this man? After
I feel like he showed William a song about rats or something.
That's true. He came up to me and said he did something real. I've kind of blocked it, but he just kind of came up to me, didn't say anything nearly as bizarre as he said to Andy, but similar vibes, kind of lurking, lurking.
I don't think I ever had the pleasure of making his acquaintance.
Well, it's funny because we all, if it wasn't you, it was the three of us, because Andy told us that story, and then I was like, wait, I think I talked to the same guy. Mine's less exciting, but I remember being outside after the gig, and the guy, Andy does a good voice of this guy, but he just came up to me, and he was like, "I had a dream. There were little black girls and little white boys, and they were all holding hands, and nobody cared." And that's my story.
That was Palmer's Bar. That's the one guy. I don't know. The rest of the show was phenomenal. Andy, how are you feeling?
I'm going to be honest, I've been better, but I've also been so much worse this week. So I'm feeling a lot better than I was, but still in a decent amount of pain, but it feels much more manageable now, which is encouraging.
That is good. Hopefully by the time this episode airs, you will be fully healed.
That's the hope. That's the goal.
You'll be like a gazelle upon the mountaintop, smiling as the summer sun shines upon your brow, and you frolic down and up the meadows.
Yeah.
Just like that.
That's my guiding principle right there. That's what I'm doing this for.
Yeah. Well,
We'll go forth and frolic, my dude.
we don't need to keep you.
Maybe we'll call you later.
That sounds good.
Well,
I'm going to go lie back down.
So
You guys just give me a call next week on the next episode.
Sounds good.
Yes,
Maybe
that's
we'll
good.
even call you at some other point.
Sounds good. You guys have fun.
You too.
Bye, Andy.
Bye, Andy. Wow. Well,
I wonder if that guy meant camel milk, now that I think about it.
oh, yeah. Okay, let's move into the next segment of our life on tour into what it is now, because I think that that's interesting. I guess
Yeah.
to sort of condense like a story of how we got from that point to having a booking agent and everything. The short story is basically we had some success. Well, we started selling tickets, I guess. So it's kind of like, that's kind of all the industry seems to care about is like, do you sell tickets? And if you're selling tickets, then you'll probably get booking agents who are interested in booking for you because they know that you can sell tickets. And so we started selling tickets.
But the process to sell tickets, at least for us, was sort of just like winging it and just hoping. Because I remember like you booked, it was a run to the Northeast. It's like our first time to the Northeast. We were playing venues that were like 20 to 50 people-ish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just like, I remember being worried. I was like, man, I don't know if anybody's going to spend $16 or whatever to come see. I don't even know how much it was. Come see us. But then it just started happening. We're like, okay. And then now we've proven to ourselves that we can sell some tickets. So I guess.
And it's sort of like, you know, there's a mix of the tried and true method of just continuing to grind it out, and slowly you acquire the fan bases and they come back the next time you're in the area, and you get their email address. So you email them, you know, when you're going to go out and do all those traditional marketing things. And then there's the wonderful, mysterious world of Instagram, just
social media,
blowing up a video. And then all of a sudden your ticket sales increase by 10 times, which I really wish that if anyone was wondering how to do that, that I could tell you, but it
really
beats me.
No, I'm going to steal this from Andy, who is not here and could do a much better job of saying this. But
should we call him?
Maybe we should call him. Andy, get back up. But like, there's like his entire thing was that when he was making TopHouse videos, he wanted to create something that connected specifically with the people that would like our music, which sounds really vague. But a concrete example of that is one of our first videos that went live it was a video of like us playing. And then it said, "Hi, we're called TopHouse and we make music for people who like camping with iron skillets," or something like this. It was like just specific enough that a lot of people are like, I like camping with iron skillets, but just vague enough that like there were enough people that either wanted to do that or who did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so all of a sudden now we had a niche.
Yeah, it's kind of like finding your people. But I guess, yeah, so regardless, we started selling tickets, and eventually a booking agent reached out to us and we started working with them. Shout out Mike. And honestly, that was like an amazing change. And so I guess like what has changed now, not necessarily from his perspective, but just from for us, like now what goes into planning a tour for us, as opposed to like, then it was like, you know, we had control over exactly when we were going to be gone, and we could, you know, look at the cities ourselves, and we had all the, you know, reaching out to people. So like, what's different now with someone else doing it?
I'd say like we almost kind of have the opposite problem, where before it was like, man, how are we going to get all these shows together and go on the road in the summer? And now it's almost like, okay, like when do we not want to be on the road? Because we plan everything out about a year in advance. So it's a lot of like kind of trying to guess like, well, maybe I'll want to go on vacation in July, or, you know, like, I don't know. It's an exciting place to be. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now we basically just like, there's a plan. There's like, you know, maybe a 1-year plan that our agent has, and he probably has a somewhat vague, you know, 3-5 year plan or something like that. And then he'll just kind of run us through what he's thinking, and we'll basically, okay, like yay or nay, you know, we'll just be like, we can do these ones. Maybe we don't want to do these. And then we just basically just say yes. And then we do them.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of it's just like yeah, like you said, it's more about like almost knowing where to say no to shows at this point. Because it's like we could be on the road, 200 plus days a year, I suppose.
Well, the tricky part now is because it's so much, there's just a greater volume of shows, being independent outside of having a manager and an agent means that we have to kind of figure out some pretty crazy logistical things sometimes. It can be, leave you with like 2 hours of sleep. For example, we once played a festival and I think we got off stage at midnight, was it? And then we slept in a hotel room for like an hour and no, it was like 57 minutes or something. I remember setting my alarm. We slept for like 57 minutes and we drove to the airport and then flew out to Colorado. This festival was in Virginia, basically. We flew on like 50 minutes of sleep to Colorado, got a like rental van there, drove to a festival and then played a show at the festival. So it was like that was like something we had to figure out. We're like, well, I guess we'll just give 50 minutes of sleep and that's just the way it's going to be, And in the days when we were doing it ourselves, we would have not done that to ourselves.
Right, totally. So you just kind of like say yes to these things sometimes and then we're like kicking ourselves like, why are we doing this? And then it pretty much always works out. And then we're like, okay, we didn't sleep much, but YOLO or something.
They lead to good opportunities.
Yeah.
Lead to good relationships with like promoters and festivals and things like that. So that, I guess the idea is the level we're at now, we can work hard and try to grind it out so that, a few years from now, we just don't have to.
Yeah.
No, a big thing kind of in our future that we talk about, if anyone is interested in this sort of thing, is the big thing for us is consolidating markets. So like the idea is we play, say, like 5 shows in upstate New York every 6 months. But in the future, in like a year or two, that would be 1 show in upstate New York. And then the hope is that, everyone will come to that show. It'll be large enough to make stuff worthwhile. And that makes touring more sustainable for all you tour curious people.
Right. Yeah, because it does become kind of a grind. And I mean, maybe we'll get into some of these questions of just like, how do we balance like, home life and being on the road and like relationships and like all those things. Because it is like, anyone who travels for work faces the same thing where it's like, you're doing it for work. Hopefully you also are enjoying your job. Like we love getting to do this. Like I think we'd all be super sad if we could never tour. But there is definitely like, challenge of leaving home. And so, yeah, like trying to plan how to consolidate things and spend less time on the road, but still be able to do it as a job, those are tricky questions. But yeah, I guess let's kind of jump into that. Like, what are ways that you balance being on the road with being at home and like maintaining and sustaining like a healthy lifestyle at home when you're gone for a third of the year, So I think that's like an interesting question. And I don't know if we even have the perfect answers for it, but
yeah, I feel like I'm still learning a lot about that. As far as relationships go, I feel like you just have to understand your partner's expectations. I guess this is all of a sudden a relationships and dating podcast, but
dear Abby,
no question. Yeah, just understanding like, does the other person expect you to like, call or text every day or every few days, whatever it is, just make sure you're on the same page with that kind of a thing. But then also making sure, there's a level of when you're on the road, be on the road. When you're at home, be at home. Obviously, you have to plan for the road when you're at home, so there's like a time to work. But if there's a time to relax, relax. Don't do like the half work, half play, or half work, half play thing. I would just burn yourself out. At least for me, I'm speaking for me. So still haven't learned how to eat that well or maintain some kind of workout on the road. Still got to figure that out.
Though we have improved just because the bar was in was in HE double toothpick initially with like McDonald's, you know, so now we don't hit up McDonald's every day.
That seems like a almost trivial but honestly really big thing was, you know, we're starting to make enough to where we don't have to eat gas station food and or fast food, and now we can actually like go to a restaurant and eat food. I know that doesn't automatically make it healthier, but you sure feel better, you know.
It's true.
So it's like a small thing that has added up. Also, not having to share a bed is like the first couple of tours. We all just like, I think we just get one hotel room.
One room.
You know, there's no need to get like everybody their own bed when you can't really afford it. So
yeah. There's definitely been like a, you know, and it's obviously like not everyone can do this, but you know, it's definitely worthwhile like spending a little extra sometimes to just have a healthier like lifestyle on the road. Cause it's like, I mean, if you're going to be gone for a third of the year, you might as well not like kill yourself trying to do it, you know? So, which is, obviously there's like a balance there. Cause like, we're not each getting our own like sweet hotel room. Like we still share rooms, but we have made sure that everyone gets their own bed at least, you know, or something like that. Or, you know, we're not like dining at 5-star restaurants, but yeah, it's not McDonald's either. So it's like, there's a balance, but.
That balance is interesting too, because like, if you go online, you type in modern touring as a band, you're going to see a lot of articles about like, I toured for, you know, 5 years and now I owe money or something. And there's a balance where like on one side you could end up, you're eating McDonald's, everyone's sleeping in one king size bed, you know, kind of like that extreme. On the other end, you know, you see all these articles. And if you look at these bands, they tend to be like our size or smaller, but have like a semi truck carrying like infinite strobe lights and like fireworks, and like they have like this giant kind of production following them, and they all get their own hotel room, you know, and stuff like this. You're like, well, you know, that's an interesting touring balance.
Yeah. There's like definitely something that's really nice. And again, just like realizing how blessed we are, you know, to be in a band that's like a band. Like none of us are like hired musicians, you know. And it is always interesting too to talk to folks that we know who are singer-songwriters, and then they hire a band to go with them. And I kind of feel for them, because there's like that level of like, there's sort of an expectancy that goes along with that. Like if you're a guitarist for hire in Nashville and you get hired to go on a tour with someone, you're probably kind of expecting that you'll be taken care of. Hopefully, you know, like, so like
bus and you
so
get
that,
decent meals and
so that singer songwriter might almost be forced to shell out more per person to like make sure that they have their own hotel room and they're, you know, they have like a stipend every day and like all these things. Whereas like, it's kind of nice for the four of us, cause we're all like in it together, like win or lose. So it's like we know that if we're like, oh, well, we're not really going to make a whole lot on this run, so we're just going to have to kind of bite the bullet and crash in a dive hotel with one bed, you know, which we don't have to do often, but there is something it's just like really nice to be in like a band that we're all kind of committed to it, you know.
But even that, there's still months. Like, I mean, we're fortunate enough to have an income through the touring, but I mean, even just, what was it, a couple months ago, all of us made exactly $0 because there was just, there were expenses to pay and we didn't play that many shows. Yeah. So we were able to prepare for it, but we were kind of, you know, there's still months where you don't make anything. So, yeah.
Okay. What are some, just like little things on tour, little hacks that you just like, it just makes your life better on tour that are not like big things, like not about routing, not about like where you're sleeping, but just like a little thing that you do or like something you bring with you or whatever it is that just keeps you sane?
Lately, last few runs, if there's a decent, like relaxing space in the green room, you know, after we've sound checked, I'll go into the green room and I'll plop on my headphones and I'll turn on, I think it's called like Dark Academia or something. It's this like classical music playlist that Spotify has made. And it's like the most soothing thing. And I'm not much of a nap person, but if I'm especially tired and just need some time to recharge, man, Dark Academia has just been hitting the spot for me. Just kind of lay on a couch anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. It's been beautiful.
Yeah.
I wish I had more of these, honestly, because like I feel like I could use some more hacks. Like the Dark
You got your crazy glasses.
I do. That's I'm still trying to figure out how to use those. I have these glasses I can use, so I get a bit car sick in the van. But I also have a second job where I do some coding, and so I bought these glasses so I could code or watch videos in the van without getting car sick. And that's been kind of fun. I've been trying to develop some rituals with them, whether it's like watching movies if we're driving at night and stuff. Right now, though, the two big rituals I have is probably the biggest one is I'm a Christian and I really like, you know, getting to church every Sunday, but that's not possible on tour sometimes. So I've started doing these liturgical prayers every morning and every night. Just because it kind of gives me little focal points of like, I know I'm going to have a Bible study every morning. And every night I'm going to, you know, pray these little prayers and I'm going to go to bed. And that's kind of fun. The other thing, and this is kind of funny, but I think I had to destigmatize like just doing really just kind of like brain dead kind of like gaming activities in the green room for myself, because I was trying to just kind of always either be like asleep or reading or learning something or playing music or talking to people. But I've discovered my kind of my mood actually improves if I can have an hour to just like play Minecraft or something cursed in the green room. That kind of like totally de-stresses me. And then I'm able to go out and like interact in a much more like genuine way, because I've kind of blown some steam doing something that's not productive at all. Yeah. I also love listening to audiobooks.
The few times that we've been able to go on a mild outdoor excursion of some kind have just been, I don't even have the word, just like completely invigorating. I don't know.
Totally. I feel like for me, it's definitely, I bring like a super bougie coffee setup, and that's,
I need to upgrade.
Like just drinking good coffee in the morning instead of hotel coffee. Like I like literally just wake up every morning and probably spend like way too long making like a pour over, and I've got like a hand grinder, and like I bring my own beans, and it's super bougie, but it's so nice to have good coffee on the road. And then just, having space to like read at some point. Yeah. And like, you know, there's always like time in the van, but I mean, just like,
it's not very restful time. It's kind of noisy. Like, you're getting rattled around.
If you've got a nice green room, or in the morning, if we don't have to leave super early, if the hotel has a nice lobby, you know, it's just like take your coffee down and just be able to read for like an hour is so nice. And then, any kind of outdoors. I always find like if I'm really exhausted and I don't want to go on like a walk or something, whenever I like just get myself up and go out and just like walk around the city wherever we're playing for a little bit, if I have time, like that's such a nice, just like be able to stretch your legs, get some sunshine.
Little reset.
I've also found something I really love is like going out before the show. Like if we have an opener playing, and I don't always, but just like kind of going out and just kind of sneaking to the back of the crowd, and like, you know, even if I'm not talking to anybody, just like watching the crowd, like it almost just like energizes me. It gets me like super stoked for the show. And then it's sort of like, if I don't do that, like if I don't even like see the crowd or don't have any like touch points with them before the show, then I sometimes just feel exhausted getting on stage. Cause it's just like, it's going straight from like being tired in a green room to like, okay, now I have to be really high energy. But if I'm able to go out and like, it almost like energizes me, and I'm like, heck yeah, I'm pumped to be here. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's weird to not have the connection with the crowd before playing in a way for me, but yeah.
That's probably why our shows start out so cringy and become,
Yeah,
well, I guess they kind of just stay cringy. They start out bad cringy and slowly become good cringy. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Don't have much left here. We're probably kind of getting to a good point to sort of wrap up this little segment of tour. Here's our final question. What things are in your tour survival kit?
I bring a fork, a spoon, and a can opener.
Wow.
Because I have I've learned from those around me what is apparently a bit of a gross ability, and that is to eat cold canned food.
It's gross.
And so if I have the privilege and the honor to show up to a hotel at 1 a.m. and I see a can of Chef Boyardee spaghetti and meatballs or Chef Boyardee ravioli, I guess it doesn't matter because it's all the same. I'm like, oh, I'm going to grab 2 cans of that, put that on the room, and then I can just go to the room and eat them. Not every place has a fork and a spoon, and man, it has come in handy. Let me tell you. Although I guess most of the cans these days you can just kind of pull off. I don't know if I've had to use the can opener unless you need a bottle opener for a beer. That's when I've needed that.
I have these things called Oslo earbuds, and they just are made for you to sleep in the earbuds. And they just shoot white noise into your ears. And if I wore these things for a few weeks, and it took a while to get used to them, but now I use them every single time I fall asleep on the road, and I fall asleep almost immediately because I forget where I am. I forget it's just like a comforting sound, and yeah, I mean I could probably fall asleep without them, but
I thought you were getting up to demonstrate. I was like, whoa.
I'm gonna fall asleep on the
Watch this. Hold my liquid death.
Mine is, I guess I already said it. It's my coffee setup and some books.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I normally have I literally have like 6 to 7 books with me on any tour. Just like my backpack is like full of books. Just like really, I don't read all of them, but I just like
like
then I have the options. Books. I don't know. And then
do you bring different genres? Do you have like a methodology, or do you?
Let's see. I read. I mean, I'm pretty much always reading some kind of fiction, just like
fantasy.
I love good like sci-fi fantasy, but fiction, and then I'll read like some kind of devotional or like I don't know, like a morning prayer kind of like ritual or something like that, or just got like Bible with me, and then I feel like I love, and then like having a biography or like history or like, I don't know, something like that. Those are kind of the 3 genres that I always have with me. And then like a journal, keep a journal with me. And I feel like I try to journal on the road as much as I can. It doesn't always happen, but that's definitely a survival kit thing.
I usually only bring like 2, maybe 3 books. Usually it's like one that I need to finish so that I can get on to the next book. One that's more, maybe more like brain power is involved, some kind of biography or history or something. And then one that's a little more entertaining. It's like an opinion. It's still nonfiction, but it's just entertaining.
Okay.
Anyway, we have one more question or what?
We are on to our folklore segment. That wraps up
the Taylor Swift segment. Album.
Drop your comment in the comments if you had a question about tour that we didn't answer, and maybe we'll do a random Q&A session for our volume.com subscribers at some point. Wow. Right. That felt like a really seamless, like,
you did great.
A seamless marketing.
If I could reach you, I would fist bump you.
Wow.
So hard.
I'll do it for Jesse.
Oh, thanks.
That's not a fist. That was
not even a fist. Okay.
We're going to have to teach you some basic things.
Okay.
You're failing the touring test, just so you know.
Here is folklore segment for today, where your favorite folk band or your second favorite folk band talks about some of our favorite lore.
Oh.
And Nate, our producer, has created this question for us. So here we go.
Do you prefer producer or like video guy or your majesty
Advisors.
or maybe like daddy or what do you like? Okay.
Nate's a mystery. He's not the
He's
producer.
mystery.
He's not. He is. He does all the things and.
We'll come up with
I don't know. He does
maybe
it all.
somebody
We
can
need
give
to
us
have
a cool
special
name
I don't
for
know.
Nate.
That's Nate in the corner.
Agent Nate.
Agent Nate.
Agent Nate. Okay. Anyways, sorry, Nate. Okay, here's the folklore segment. So we are naming today's folklore segment after our song Slow and Steady because we're answering the immortal snail question with a little TopHouse twist. Okay. So for those
Tell
of
me
you
more.
who haven't heard this before, here's the setup. This is awesome. I've never heard this question before. You and a super intelligent snail both become immortal. However, you die if the snail touches you. It always knows where you are and slowly crawls toward you. You're given $1 million to help you. But the twist is that you still have to keep touring with TopHouse at least 50 dates per year. What's your plan?
Oh, I just killed a snail.
I don't think you can. It's immortal.
It's immortal. It's not invincible.
Okay, well, let's just say it's invincible too.
Okay, I need more time.
I guess that's an option. Okay, well, sure. If you can kill it, then that seems like an option.
because it's trying to kill me, right? It's
Yeah,
self-defense.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
So I'm immortal, but the snail is also immortal.
You're both immortal, and it's
wait.
just always crawling towards you.
Oh, you're immortal unless
At
the
all
snail
times.
touches you.
If it touches you, you die immediately, and it's always crawling towards you.
Okay.
So I would choose a I don't remember the name of these islands. We'll just go with Antarctica. Well, I would choose Antarctica.
I remember
as
the
a
name of
place
these
to-
islands. Antarctica.
No, well, there's this other island. I forget what it's called. That's like a little bit harder to get to, but you can still get to.
Like the one Napoleon was
No,
like
the one that
excommunicated to or whatever.
that would work. I'm thinking there's one that
St.
Austin
Helens
went to, and he found like the abandoned hotel, and
Okay.
Wow.
We'll continue with Antarctica.
yeah, I'll just go with Antarctica because that's easier. But I would go to Antarctica. I would spend about 3 to 5 years living there primarily, still touring with TopHouse those 50 days. And because of this, the snail would statistically get closer and closer to Antarctica over time. Now, after a while, say 3 to 5 years, perhaps even 10 to 15 years, depending on how
rate of velocity.
the rate of the velocity of the snail, which you could measure. You'd want to find it, of course, first. So, like maybe step one,
Measure the velocity, average velocity of the snail.
From a
stay at your
distance.
house.
Yeah.
Keep some ring cameras up. Watch for the snail. As soon as you see the snail, measure how quickly it travels. It is very intelligent, so it might try to trick you, but you at least can get a general idea, watching the camera footage of it coming up. Step 2, move to Antarctica for 15 to 20 years, maybe even 50 years.
Wow.
And depending on how long it will take the snail to get there. As soon
Are
as
you
the snail enters
anticipating
Antarctica,
the snail crawls like across the Southern Ocean?
I mean, it's immortal. So
yeah, I mean, well,
it
it would.
probably breathe. It's super intelligent. I don't know what super
Oh, it is
intelligent
highly
but
intelligent.
it's gonna
I bet that it's
plane.
like it's
I
going to
missed
be
that
on a
part.
plane or in a boat or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
But
I
the
don't
point is,
know.
you want to get the thing on Antarctica, and then you want to, plan your touring schedule so that you leave Antarctica right before the winter starts. One of those years. Now, when this happens,
So you're trying to freeze the snail for all eternity.
well, you can freeze the snail. That'd be kind of an ideal outlook. But the main thing we want to do is get the snail trapped on Antarctica.
Wow.
And then it's going to fly back over the summer. And then you just go back to Antarctica. It flies back to Antarctica. Now you always know that the snail is on a plane going to or from Antarctica or is at the airport near either the Antarctica airport or wherever you're flying into. So like, say, Texas. And now all you have to do is avoid those two areas and make sure that you always travel back to Antarctica just long enough for the snail to go back to Antarctica and end up at that place. Yes, you are stuck living in both Antarctica and Texas, but you will never die.
There's one major problem
Interesting.
with this. And that is that Antarctica is just an ice wall. And because of all the navies in the world keeping private citizens away from Antarctica, you can't actually get there.
You have $1 million. Do you think that's enough to pay off all the navies of the world?
Maybe. Never mind.
Could be.
Yeah, it might work.
I mean, we could also, if it's not, all you'd have to do is invest it in Lockheed and Martin, and then find a way to start a war.
Oh, yeah.
And then it would actually, it would boost your money. You'd have a little
Step
bit more.
3, start a war after investing.
Wow. I feel like, oh man.
What's your scheme, Joe?
What's my scheme? To keep the immortal snail away from me.
Immortal, invincible, intelligent.
Yeah, I feel like it depends on how intelligent is
snail.
the snail, because, can they...
It's intelligent.
It's intelligent. Okay.
It's very intelligent.
I feel like what I would do is I would monetize the snail I would always walk just a bit faster than the snail, but I'd stay like
but
one
what about
step ahead.
Sleeping?
I wouldn't sleep.
Oh,
I'm immortal.
I guess
So
this is suffering.
I would walk, and the snail would always be behind me. And so I would walk from show to show, still try to play my 50 shows, but the snail would be on the stage, and it would become a thing. People would pay money to see it. And so what I would do with the $1 million is I would spend the $1 million on advertising so that so I could get more people aware of this whole snail situation. And step 3,
ROI.
profit.
Nice.
So one thing that is interesting that I thought about because of what you just said is this question implies that you always are playing TopHouse shows, even though you're immortal. Does that mean that in this scenario, we all are immortal, and therefore we all have a snail following?
Oh, and so there are 4 snails. That does complicate it, because if they got mixed up, or what happens if they combine?
Does your snail have to
they
touch
become
you?
super snails.
Maybe we color code them so we know. Just
Yeah.
like throw some paint on them or something.
It's a good idea. What's your plan, Jesse?
Tupperware.
Oh, hey, that's good.
Yep.
Didn't say it was a strong snail.
Yep. I just put it and said Tupperware.
Well, this has been great. Thank you all for listening to this informative episode. Again, if y'all have questions about this kind of stuff, leave it in the comments or something, because it's kind of fun to know what y'all are thinking. And I don't know if there's anything you want to hear us talk about. And again, I'll like, the volume.com thing is pretty fun, because we'll do some Q&As probably for that. And,
we recently did a live stream where we all played Minecraft. It was my first time playing Minecraft. And we might do that again if you're a nerd. If you're into that thing.
We like live stream, concerts and stuff. So that's fun. But,
and you can hop in our Discord, which is a place where sometimes I respond to you.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't get you excited.
But,
you can join a community.
This has been fun. We'll see you next time. And don't forget to like and subscribe. William, do you have a last bit of wisdom to offer everyone?
If everyone in the world was a kitten, eventually we'd still all die.
And that's been this
Unless you were a snail.
podcast episode.